Ma'am, it's great to have you with us for the third podcast. We'll just quickly start with the intros. I'm Kriti Agrawal, the client director at 180 Degrees Consulting, and I have with me Devim, Tia, and Millie, who all are the consultants and are specifically working on this podcast for you.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's begin with the most awaited part of this podcast, the Q&A session. So before I start, let me tell you, ma'am, that we get inspired from you so much. We really admire you. Yesterday night only, four of us were watching some podcast of yours, and that really depicts the trait of, a self-independent woman, something fearless, and that was really great. And it was really nice to see that how you just turned a small startup business into this huge venture and presented it in front of the whole country. I mean, that's something really amazing. And I really hope that we learn from you today so much, and I definitely know that we are going to learn, and maybe you inspire us to become some future entrepreneurs as well. So before I start, a very basic question. We would definitely love to know you better. So, can you tell a bit about your background and how that influences the approach to run Tiggle?
Got it. Firstly, thank you so much for such nice words. I think you all are making me giggle in the morning, 11 o'clock, right? But even I'm super excited because I really feel I've also graduated. It's been some time now, but not as long, right? So it's very easy for me to relate to people who are in management, who are in undergraduation. I know all the kind of emotion you feel and that fire in the belly and itch to do something big in life. Right. But yeah, coming back to your question, a bit about my background, Millie. So I was born and brought up in Agra. So I did my studies in Agra, and post which I moved to Jaipur for my graduation. I also studied management from Banasthali University, which is a women residential women university. I had brilliant 3 years there because obviously instead of attending the normal classes, I remember in my college, ESL opened up in the first year. So I became one of the first volunteer in the ESL. And I still remember I attended more startup pitches in the ESL than the regular accountancy and economics classes. So that entrepreneurship bug actually bitten me back then in the ESL 3 years, and those 3 years were like the turning point in life. So that's about the background. I then moved to Gurgaon for my first job, and exactly that's where Tiggle happened.
Okay, so like, what job, which company did you?
I started my career from Urban Clap, which is now Urban Company.
I
Then
know.
I also moved to Aglasem, which is an edtech company. Uh, and then I also worked as a freelancer during the lockdown period with another company called Hustle Post Academy, again another edtech company. So exactly, Hustle Post Academy is when I also learned a lot more about marketing, positioning, writing scripts, etc., etc.
Okay, like I can really relate that e-cell thing being a part of, like, we all of us can relate actually. We even spend more times in society workshops and sessions rather than in our classes.
And I
That
really think that teaches you much more. Like one, you build like this group,
definitely
right?
practical skills.
Yeah. And then I think theater. So this one skill, one thing which I did a lot back in school as well as in my college is I participated in theater. And theater will teach you more pitching skills, for example, and more speaking skills.
Even I can relate. I've been never into dramatics, but when I started my college, like from this DU, so like I participated in Manch Tantra. That's the dramatic society of our college, and that was really upskilling. I mean, I was able to feel that growth and confidence inside me. That's great. That's great.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. This is a hypothetical scenario since you're a well-established brand. So let's assume that you're not running this chocolate industry, like you're not a part of this chocolate industry. So what do you think, what field would it be in if you were not part of chocolate industry and has to start a completely different kind of startup in any other industry? So what do you think?
Okay. A good one. You will have to give me a minute to think about it. But I really think I would have done something in product only. Uh, I would have built another product, if not Tiggle. I really feel fascinated and excited about making like one product and then scaling it or killing it at the distribution level. Because if you make like one physical product, you have the power to distribute it. So initially, I used to think maybe I would have entered the skincare, and the logic, the thought process behind it is the market size is really big. But now I feel like I would have not done it because it's very, very cluttered. Um,
Right,
so
right.
I don't know what industry it would have been, but like I would have picked one space where the TAM is really big and bring three things there. For example, one, clean ingredients, and it doesn't need to be a food product. It can be anything else. Uh, it can be any industry which is big. Like food industry is one big industry. I think oral care is one another big industry. Your cleanliness, the products you use is another one big industry where old players already exist. But even if a new one comes and can bring that, new age aspect of cleanliness, clean ingredients, uh, good branding, which is relatable to Gen Zs and millennials of today, I would have done something in that field, but for sure I would have remained in the product or field only.
Okay, so don't you think that you think skincare industry would be a cluttered one, so you won't.
It's cluttered because now there's such, like, for example, now sunscreen. Everybody recommends you, right, to use
Right.
sunscreen,
Yes, yes, yes.
despite the gender, and it makes sense also. But now then you go in the market and you see like hundreds of sunscreens out there, and it gets really hard to understand which is better and which is not, because all of them have same ingredients,
Yeah,
same
yeah. It's just about the packaging that
packaging, the brand, the storytelling.
definitely the marketing part.
Yeah.
Right, right. Great, great. Okay, so this question is my personal favorite. Let's assume that you are on a deserted island. I hope you will never going to be there because you're such a happy person. No one is going to leave you there alone. But let's assume that you're on a deserted island. So if you could only have one chocolate flavor for the rest of your life there, like forever, then what would it be?
One Tiggle chocolate variant, I would pick. Okay, I would pick iced chocolate.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's nice.
it's
That's
classic
even my
one.
favorite. I've tasted that.
Yeah, yeah, I would have obviously gone with that.
Okay,
Don't need like a gas stove thing there, so I think I can exist on an iced chocolate for some time at least.
same, great. Even I'm a big chocolate lover. Like, yes, I'm definitely gonna order something and definitely going to mention on Instagram. That's something really crazy. Okay. So what's your go-to hot chocolate powder? Like apart from the iced chocolate, what's
My
hot?
personal favorite is actually hazelnut hot chocolate. I personally love nuts in general. तो मुझे वो hazelnut hot chocolate, it's my go-to. That's one thing which I drink like thrice or four times in like a week's time. Our bestseller is dark hot chocolate, and it used to be my favorite as well. But now I think the hazelnut one. Yeah. And but it can also be like the current obsession, and it keeps changing.
Yeah, choices change. Great. Okay. So I would like Tia to take over.
All right. Okay, so ma'am, now let's dive deep into some questions about the chocolatey industry that you're working in. My very first question to you would be that the chocolate industry is quite competitive as we have many well-established brands, but they're not working well in the hot chocolate powder industry. But what unique approach did you take up with Tiggle that set you apart from the competition?
Interesting. I love this question. I think that's my worry as well, right? Whenever you enter an already existing cluttered industry, if you fail to differentiate yourself via any one of the things, it's very easy for you will maybe sell the product, but brand building becomes really hard, right?
Right.
I don't know what I would do if I do something, next, any next product which I build, but I'll tell you what we did in Tiggle, which really worked for us. At least this is what I believe. One, if you see chocolate industry, everybody is making chocolate bars, right?
Right.
And when we started Tiggle, we also had this pressure from industry people that तुम chocolate bars तो बनाओगे ही ना,
Hmm.
right? So there's this very interesting concept of thali versus speciality. Just
Okay.
like you go out to a
Very.
restaurant, to a cafe, you have like thali ka concept where you get everything chota, 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 chota. And then you
Hmm.
have a speciality concept, like speciality pizzas, right?
Right.
Speciality pastas or etc. etc. So we knew that we are building a speciality company. At least
Hmm.
in the first 5 to 8 years of Tiggle, we want to build a speciality company where exactly what your craft beverage companies did to coffee in India, right? For example, let's take an example of Blue Tokai. Have you heard of Blue Tokai?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah,
Right. So
definitely.
what Blue Tokai did to coffee in India, it just specialized the already existing coffee market. We said
Hmm.
we will do more or similar to chocolate drinks. So we enter the market by making blends, different blends in hot chocolate, different blends in iced chocolate. We will do something else tomorrow, then something else tomorrow. But we remain a chocolate drinks company. It becomes really easy for people to differentiate. Yeah, Tiggle is a chocolate drinks company. Tiggle is not a chocolate bar company. The
Hmm.
bars which you get in the market. So I think that specialization which we came up with, that
That.
just like how you say, I don't want to have Maggie. I want to have you don't say want to have noodles. You say I want to have Maggie, right?
Right.
People used to say I don't want, like people never said, at least up to a point, our parents' generation, for example, coffee nahi, Nescafe de do.
Hmm.
So we wanted to make Tiggle a synonym to chocolate drinks.
Right.
I think that is one, Tia. And another one is community building. I think no brand in today's age can be built without focusing on community. So
Absolutely.
we focused a lot on building a great community. People who are die-hard fan of chocolate drinks. These
Right.
are people you will be shocked to know. These are the people who actually. So, for example, I said my favorite hot chocolate is hazelnut.
Mm.
Can you take a guess who made or formulated hazelnut hot chocolate?
Yourself, you.
Yeah. Um, you or somebody from your family, maybe?
No, so nobody from the family, nobody from the team, or not even me alone. But it was a community of Tigglers
Mm.
who came
Okay.
together and signed up this long Google form and said, "देखो, आप जो भी नया product बनाने वाले हो, I want to be a part of this." So right from कौन सा sugar alternative हम use करेंगे? For example, hazelnut hot chocolate has jaggery.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Cocoa roast we use. Two, from where do I find a hazelnut vendor? And two, A, B, C, after making three, formulation, blind tasting these people did. And then they're
Wow.
like, okay, B is the best, let's launch B.
That's amazing.
So this community building, and now that hazelnut hot chocolate is not Team Tiggle's hazelnut hot chocolate or Tiggle's hot chocolate. It's these people hot chocolate, their product. So they will promote it. And that's how the community cycle begins. And I hope I answered your question.
Definitely. And that's really amazing to know about the whole community building thing. And it's also helping your brand to scale up and having the market test alongside.
Yeah.
Right. All right, ma'am. So my next question to you would be that you are a very successful entrepreneur for our generation and even the upcoming ones. So what's your take on the emerging startups in the food and beverage sector, maybe hot chocolate powder brand building sector, and the other ones as well in the food and beverage? And are there any particular ones that caught your eye recently or you might admire?
Very nice. Obviously, this is my work, right? Day and night, I'm just searching globally or Indian-based food brands,
Hmm.
food and beverage brands, and I keep looking at so many stories, such inspiring stories. I think what has caught my eye recently is the whole talk about an action towards clean ingredients,
Right.
which wasn't there at least pre-COVID,
Hmm.
right?
Definitely.
We are reading labels. And
Hmm.
brands are also pushing you to read labels.
Hmm.
And I think all the new age brands which are coming up, one is the whole clean ingredients, a conversation which is happening, which is quite fascinating in the food and beverage sector. I would say second is a lot of emphasis is towards storytelling in form of design,
Right.
right? And I really think it's because of the, like, everybody's catering to the Gen Z of the world, right? Gen Z will be the next consumer. And these
Absolutely.
people, as per my understanding, really relate to a brand when brand has people. A brand has a design which relates to you, Tia, as a person, right?
Right.
Tia is a quirky person. So she would love a packaging जो बहुत quirky है retail shop में.
Hmm.
Packaging which is telling the whole story of how we started. I also feel like whole food and beverage are, these days, because obviously the whole digital is here. We are shopping online. So you look at a page on Instagram and then you're like, oh, this is a cool brand. I'll buy from it. Maybe what they're selling, I don't understand, but I'll buy from it. Uh, but पहले क्या होता था? Food and beverage में, these brands, the giants will always do Instagram in a very traditional way, where they design like one thing from Canva and just post it up. But
Hmm.
now, it's opposite. People are showing their team. Like even if you go to Tiggle's Instagram, you will see our team in every other post.
Yes.
So you also
Even on
feel connection with so yeah, I think these are some of the things I'm seeing in all ways. Like ingredients is one, connection and storytelling is the another one. Coming to your next part of the question, some of the brands which I look up to, I think there are multiple brands. It will be very hard to like name a few. But I really think like all the brands which started in the last 3 to 4 years are doing incredibly well.
any top three choices, ma'am?
Top three, in particularly food and beverage, if you ask me, I would say I really look up to the Whole Truth Foods. Uh,
Okay.
I think the whole storytelling is brilliant. I really look up to, I'd say, I think even if I think beyond food and beverage, Fora is something which I really look up to. I really admire how they are taking up a space in like oral care. They are
Mm,
functioning. A very boring space. They're making it cool and fun and interesting. And for Gen Zs, I think uh,
absolutely.
I really look up to such brands who are actually making a dent.
Absolutely. As a Gen Z myself, when I came across the brand Tiggle, I was flattered in the first go itself. It's something that I very much relate to, and your work is amazing. I cannot just mention any less about it.
Okay.
Um, all right. So my next question to you would be, ma'am, if we go into some industry insiders about the chocolate industry, so we would like to learn that how does the supply chain work from the manufacturer to the consumer? Because we have seen on the website itself, like there is a brief way of the workings, but we would like to learn more about the technicalities.
Interesting. I think, yeah, this will be helpful. And this is one of the most overwhelming, how to figure out how to make a product. We always
Exactly.
feel it's rocket science. And though it's a little complicated, but it's not as complicated, okay? So in Tiggle, what happens is we make chocolate blends, correct? We make hot chocolate and
Hmm.
5 flavors. We make iced chocolate. We make them in different roast.
Okay.
लेकिन
Okay.
तो बनता कहाँ से है? If you go towards the end of the chain, it starts from a cocoa,
Right.
right? And cocoa is produced in southern India,
Hmm.
correct? So what happened when we started the formulation of Tiggle is I tasted cocoa from over 50 farms, all
Okay.
from southern India, all
Hmm.
Indian, all southern Indian farms. And then I was tasting them. So what happens is there are farms in South India which produce cocoa. They have cocoa plantation. They also have connects who roast the cocoa because you need once you get the bean, आपको उसको roast करना पड़ता है. So these farmers who are जहाँ पे plantation है, they will get you the best beans and then they send the beans to a roastery, correct? And then वो
Hmm.
roaster will roast the beans and convert that into a cocoa powder,
Mhm.
Okay.
right? Then the cocoa powder will come to one place जहाँ पे you make you blend other ingredients as well. For example, hazelnut hot chocolate will have more hazelnuts in it. So you'll
Okay.
blend with hazelnut, you will blend with jaggery. You put it in a 200 gram, whatever your packaging size is, and then you
Hmm.
dispatch. So it starts from a farmer. You have to get a connect at a farm, get the cocoa from there, send it to a roastery, or you can also take help from the farmer because you're so new to the industry. You don't know कि roast कैसे करना है. First two
Hmm.
things you can ask the farmers only ki, hey, can you please help me with the roast? And then you finally have it in a facility where you blend with other ingredients, pack it and dispatch it.
Right. And ma'am, after the dispatching, like from the place where the blend is done, from there itself, you're dispatching it to the consumer.
To the consumer.
Okay, directly. So there are no intermediaries involved as of now.
As we are a D2C brand, it's direct to consumer. There are no intermediaries involved over here. Obviously, it's a different model. The supply chain will be different for every model.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, ma'am. So moving on to the last question of this section. You are selling your product online as of now. So an individual faces problem at some times scaling their product online. And you being the only owner of a brand and one of the leaders of the industry. So how do you manage to overcome the challenges that you face in scaling online? And what were the main marketing tactics that you used alongside this journey?
Got it. So look, if you have to sell anything online, you need two, three things. Fundamentally, you need two, three things. You need a website.
Hmm.
Because you're in today's age, you need a nice Instagram page
Hmm.
to engage the audience. Other thing, you need like a payments set way that if somebody's coming to the website, there's a way you are taking payments. Like for example, we use Razorpay. You are taking payments are coming to your bank account. So ये fundamentals हो गए. Once you're done
Right.
with the fundamentals, coming to how do you actually get sales? How do I really make a Millie come onto the website and purchase?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So you do marketing for that. Now, marketing can be done in two ways. One is organically you are doing. You have your Instagram page, you start your Instagram marketing. No
Hmm.
money is going, right? आप लोग का अपना Instagram होगा personal, आप वैसे start करोगे.
Hmm.
But then you need to build a big business and then you're like मुझे तो और sales चाहिए. अरे आज तो 10 ही sales आई है, मुझे 100 चाहिए. Oh, ये
Hmm.
100 आ गया, मुझे 500 चाहिए. How do you scale? Then you need to actually invest certain amount into marketing. There are
Right.
multiple ways. You can actually also list your products on Amazon and do Amazon marketing. You can do
Hmm.
performance marketing, which is the most common way people are marketing right now. Performance marketing meaning Facebook ads. You see a lot of sponsored ads you get on your Instagram when you're scrolling. You
Right.
will get buy this, buy that. So that's what all is performance marketing. So we also did that. That really helps you target the right audience and then bring them to the website and then finally make them purchase. And if they don't purchase, for example, let's say Divyam is on the website. He's
Hmm.
through Tiggle website and he's like, यार कुछ तो बढ़िया लग रहा है, मैं कभी खरीद सकता हूँ, maybe future में मैं अभी नहीं खरीद सकता हूँ.
Hmm.
But he came to the website. Now we will have the Divyam came to the website. Now we can retarget Divyam and show him ad. Hey, take rupees 20 off. Take rupees 50 off. Come to the website, purchase it today.
Right.
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 So this is how you
Exactly.
the fundamental of marketing function.
Hmm.
Obviously, this is not how you can build a brand. This is how you sell. To build
Hmm.
a brand, you need to come back to the branding basics, which you have to do great storytelling.
Mm.
Absolutely. The core remains there always.
Correct.
All right. Now I would like Millie to take up the next section.
Okay, so after getting such great industry insiders, let's jump on to the Tiggle section, like how this brand came to place. So my first question is that what's the story behind Tiggle? Like why Tiggle? Like it sounds so fun name. It's itself a USP. Like it shows it's a very differentiated name. I've never heard of it before. So why Tiggle?
So when you think of a name for a brand, right, you will always overthink about it. So I also did that. We made this Excel sheet which had some 50 plus names.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then for 50 plus names, we said we will select some 3, 4 names. So Tiggle was also one of the names in 3, 4 names. And then I was like, all of these 3 names are nice, but Tiggle, what is this? Remove it. But eventually we kept, Tiggle only. The reason behind it is Tiggle is made from tickle plus giggle, right?
Okay.
Tickling and giggling. So it's tickle plus giggle. And the name, the moment you say Tiggle, you will have to smile to say Tiggle.
Right.
So it's
Right.
a very energetic name, and we wanted a company to have a very energetic name, a very happy, joyful name, and that's the reason we went with Tiggle and orange logo to give the whole, good energy, positive vibes.
Right. It actually mean it. I mean, like the chocolate makes you happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great, great. Okay, so like, what's the weirdest or most unexpected inspiration that you've drawn up from a chocolate powder taste?
From a chocolate powder taste.
Yes.
Um, hmm. I would love to emphasize over here uh, on two things actually. Uh, One, coffee. We have this one variant called coffee infused hot chocolate,
Right.
right? One of a very interesting variant which we have. So I just love how, two different beans actually come together and then they become friends and then they do something which tastes exceptionally good. You get the kick of caffeine along with the chocolatiness of hot chocolate. So that's very interesting in a way. But I think that doesn't answer your question that what inspiration I have drawn. So I'll tell you this one quick story. So our iced chocolate, which we launched, I think 9 months pehle,
Okay.
is a very different formulation. Never done in India ever. So it's normal roast of cocoa with other ingredients, and it also has added chocolate flakes in it. तो आपको उसको ब्लेंडर में डालना है वो बन जाएगा बट आपको ऐसा लगेगा कि आप मेल्टेड चॉकलेट को ड्रिंक कर रहे हो विच इज रेडी इन लाइक 1 minute. So what happened when we were formulating this, we failed for continuous 3 months. We were not able to make a good formulation for iced chocolate. And our customers were asking ki summers are coming, you please launch iced chocolate. So we had a lot of pressure. And cocoa with cold milk was not tasting as good as our hot chocolates. So we almost gave up. Our R&D almost gave up. They said, यार इस साल तो ice chocolate नहीं हो पाएगा. And then I was like, let's go back to fundamentals. Let's add some chocolate in it. So we made chocolate. We converted the chocolate into flakes. It's a 55% dark, so we added it into the formulation, and it's like let's blend it. I was saying this from day one that maybe we should try this, but realized that everybody in the R&D was coming from a lot of experience, and they said कि नहीं यार chocolate melt हो जाएगा, right?
Right.
But it did not happen because you're mixing it with the cocoa and the jaggery. It won't melt. And the moment everybody in our team tried it, they're like, "Wow, this is a killer formulation. This is what we are going to launch." So the learning which I took from this whole experience of spending 3 months and not listening to your gut, and so sometimes experience comes in between of innovation, or experience comes in between of trying new things. अरे यार ये तो नहीं होगा because ये तो ऐसे काम नहीं करता. But have you tried it?
Hit and try.
So I
And
think
even
this
get
is
like,
the flavor doesn't teach me any inspiration, but the story behind the launch of iced chocolate taught me that don't let experience hamper you trying something new. Just try it, you will fail. That's the mix which will happen.
oh my God, great, beautifully presented. I mean, okay, so can you share any other quirky or any amusing anecdote just like this from the early days of building a brand?
I think a lot of them, but
We're ready to hear all of them.
we do share a lot of these stories on our Instagram page also with the name of WhatsApp Tiggle. So we share what happened and all of such kind of stories. But I think we keep going through such every other day, right? Like, for example, in the COVID, the reason Tiggle started is my mom, she was a banker. Now she's retired. So उनके बैंक से she was a clerk there. So she's a permanent person, but हर एक बैंक में there are temporary people. So my mom also had 3 temporary people. And one day in the COVID, mom came and she told us that the one temporary worker is fired. सब लोग फायर हो रहे थे उस टाइम पे तो हमने इतना ध्यान नहीं दिया. The second day mom came and she said the second temporary worker is also fired. And third day mom came and she said the third temporary worker is also fired. So that made me think because COVID se pehle I already did some hands on Tiggle and then वो pause because of COVID pause आ गया था. I was like people are getting fired. Let's generate the whole employment. Let's do something. You have an idea in your mind. You just need to execute. So what are you worrying?
Right.
So I think this is also one very beautiful story of like how small things which are also negative can also inspire you to do something really good.
That's really good and inspirational. I mean, yeah, small things make big things happen, you know. Yeah.
And then we actually started from my house. There was this one room which was vacant. And 6 months from operating in that room, the wall color actually changed from off-white paint to brown.
I've seen that. Yeah, yeah, great, great.
And
Okay.
additionally, ma'am, how you are portraying these stories and you have recognized it in your life, that's really inspirational for all of us.
Yes.
Definitely.
Okay, great. So now I would like Divyam to take up and
Hmm.
continue.
So, hello, ma'am. Moving on to the next segment. So everyone has a favorite startup that they admire. So, could you please share yours and what makes it stand out to you?
So my favorite, multiple favorites, okay, but I'll talk about one particular which has a big role in my journey in a very indirect manner.
Mhm.
Uh, the company name, it's not from food and beverage. The company name is called Atlin.
Okay.
Uh, right, they are into the data space. But a couple of my friends work there, right, and these couple of my friends are much senior to me. So they started their career way before I did, right? So I have like the 20 to 24 years, ये जो 3-4 साल थे of life, I've heard stories about this particular company pivoting from from an already successful space to next big thing. Uh, so I really admire the company. Obviously, both the founders of the company are Indians, building a company globally. And the most favorite thing for me, or one thing which I picked up is they talk a lot about culture.
Mhm.
And the whole culture thing which I talk about, like I was thinking, जब वो startup Shark Tank happened, it's like a
Yeah.
culture wala is going so viral. My Instagram, my LinkedIn, everybody was tagging me on the culture wala line.
Right.
So I was like, from where did I actually learn this? What happened in my life that I learned about culture? We really have a 34-page long document on culture in Tiggle, and we're a team of 15 people, right? And people will say that यार इतनी छोटी टीम में कल्चर की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, but we really feel even when there was nobody in the team Tiggle, no customer in the team Tiggle, it was just me working on Tiggle, we still had a culture. I wrote this 3-page, three pointers in one page, and I've posted about it as well. But कल्चर तब भी था, बट द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन इज कल्चर का कॉन्वर्सेशन मेरे दिमाग में आया कहाँ से, right? So I really think it starts from like knowing, listening from my friends about Atlin and Atlin's culture, and their efforts for building a really good culture. Even when the team is not, it comes from like 15 plus countries. Then it becomes really hard to build up a culture. Fully remote team, and that's why I really feel the friend circle which you have, especially when you are from your college to your early, that really can change your life, whether in a good way or in a bad way. So
Right.
hang out with best people, so you can really pick up things from them instead of wasting your own time.
Right.
Or
And
investing your own time, not wasting.
yeah, right. And speaking of startups, like, have you had any previous venture before to?
I have not had like a proper full-fledged business, but I did couple of experiments. Like for example, I ran this company called Post a Postcard.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to make postcards, personalized postcards, write handwritten things, and then send it across, uh, like pan India.
Got it. So, did you learn anything from that experience and implemented it
I,
in
I
the?
learned a lot of things. I learned how to build a website. I learned how to take payments to the bank account. Very basic fundamental things. I was quite young that back then, I think 2021. Yeah, I ran this for 6 to 8 months. But yeah, I learned some basics, definitely.
Okay. So,
I
as
learned how to photo shoot. You used to do a lot of photo shoots for the postcards.
okay, that's interesting. So, I would like to end this segment on a little fun note. So, if you could collaborate with any Bollywood celebrity or fictional character for a flavor, so which person would you choose and why?
Okay. I think we will choose Shraddha Kapoor. We were
Okay.
just having this internal discussion a couple of days back.
Okay.
I think the whole personality which she has really goes well with Tiggle, quirky, fun personality,
Right.
and
In fact,
that.
I would say it also matches with you. Like, both of you have a pretty similar personality.
Yeah, that's why.
Right. So, next section would be taken over by Tia. You can continue.
Yeah. So back to me again, ma'am. As we have known the success of Tiggle and the success of this startup, now I would like to learn from you that have you ever faced any failure in your life while making any other venture, maybe? And are there any common mistakes that you have observed throughout your entrepreneurial journey, or you have observed in any other entrepreneur's journey while building their startup?
Interesting. First, I think it's not still successful. We are still in the journey. We are very young in our journey, and I think it will be wrong to say we are successful. Uh,
Hmm.
we are on our way to make something really big. I won't say we are successful, but coming to failure, I think second year of running Tiggle, we made a lot of mistakes. Second year of running Tiggle was the lowest low I have seen. Right. And one mistake which I remember and I learned a lot from it is hiring mistake. I think hiring is really one of the hardest thing to do. Right. And one mistake which I made is हमारा एक hiring का एक process होता था. ठीक है. But उसमें एक चीज नहीं थी which is referral. And I realized that how important, and somebody suggested this to me that, Anuva, you need to have referrals in this entire process. And then I made a mistake. I never had that. And we did like two or three hirings, very crucial hiring for Tiggle, but never did the referral check. Uh, and then I realized that referral checks can actually tell you a lot more than any one and a half hour round. So one was that I think hiring is one of the mistakes we did in Tingle in second year. And
And
I
I
think
guess from there only,
overthought,
yeah,
like overthought about one launch. तो वो हम second year में करने वाले थे, but we did not do because we overthought. So I think we should not overthink when we are building a startup. We should just execute.
Right,
that's
right.
a very important learning for us as college students. We do overthink a lot of small decisions.
Yeah, but
And
it doesn't really impact in the long run, is what I felt, and I can be wrong as well. But a lot of things we overthink कि ओ ये करेंगे तो ये हो जाएगा. But how many people are seeing it? हो जाएगा तो उसको सुधार लेंगे.
that's
Even
very
I
good.
kind of agree with you, right? Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So now, Divyam, you can start with the fun segment.
Okay, so it's time what everyone is waiting for, fun segment. So this is going to be a rapid fire round, and the name of this challenge is one word in my mind challenge. So you
Huh.
have to tell a word that first comes to your mind whenever you hear the shark name. So
Okay.
yeah, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. So starting with Aman Gupta.
I have to tell one word, right?
Yeah, just one word.
Aman Gupta, I think मजेदार,
Okay, Amit Jain,
cute,
Ashneer Grover,
angry,
Namita Thapar,
uh, incredibly supportive,
right. Anupam Mittal,
sharp,
Piyush Bansal.
favorite.
Definitely.
Human mind.
Yeah, Vinita Singh,
Very kind and good listener.
Ritesh Agarwal.
Uh, I think generous. He's extremely kind. At least what we are seeing on the Shark Tank. Yeah.
Okay, so that would be all. And moving on to like last segment. These are some questions related to Shark Tank. I mean, and you can choose not to answer them. It's totally up to you. So,
Okay.
firstly, can you tell some behind the scenes of Shark Tank? Like, what was your experience and everything?
Yeah, experience was, so I'll tell you briefly what happens and how you get into the tank, right? I've heard that thousands and thousands and thousands of applications they receive in the round one.
Mhm.
Round one is very simple. It's a 2 to 3 page long form, basics about who you are, what your startup is, where are you based, what was your last year's revenue. That's all. If you get selected in the round one, they send you round two ka form, which is a 50 page long form,
Mhm.
and you have to also send one video, right? It's a pretty lengthy form. It took me, I think, full 1 week. Every day I used to sit 2 3 hours and fill the form. So that's a form two along with the video. Then if you get selected in this, then they call you for audition.
Mhm.
Audition happens in Delhi, Bangalore, Bombay, etc. So you have to go for audition. Audition is exactly what happens in Shark Tank, but it's not the sharks there. Their team, 2 or 3 people will be there from the team. You have to go. You have 1.5 to 2 minutes to pitch.
Mhm.
It's an
Mhm.
uninterrupted pitch. You can pitch whatever you want. And then because it was a product for our case, we make them taste the product. And then it's a Q&A. So this is what happens in audition. If you also close audition 10 days before, to 10 to 15 days before the final shoot, they give you a call and they say, hey, you are selected and you're coming to Mumbai, film cities where the shoot happens. So they call you 3 days before your shoot to Bombay. In 3 days, you have to do the entire setup you see on your Shark Tank, which,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
problem, everything.
Correct. That happens. They also help you practice how you will go in front of shark, and they train you basically. They do 2 to 3 mock rounds. And
Mm-hmm.
they ask you a lot of questions. They will ask you a lot of numbers. And then the final day, when you have to go and pitch. So you will be at backstage and they will tell you it's your chance. And then you will go and the Shark Tank music will be playing in the background and then you will have goosebumps. And then the door will open up. It's an automatic door. So that will
Yeah.
open. You have to walk. वहाँ पे एक peacock बना हुआ है.
Okay.
So peacock का legs पे जाके आपको you have to stand there. And till the time music doesn't stop, you cannot utter a word. So it's like 15-20 seconds of pure silence in the room. You are looking at the shark, these 5 faces, which you may have seen on television, but seeing them, actually face to face, it's a very different kind of a feeling.
Right.
Absolutely.
And then you have only one shot. You have to speak and then go ahead with tastings and Q&A. I think I remember Tiggle ka pitch was around 1 hour 45 minutes.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
okay. And like at any moment, did you feel that Shark Tank is scripted?
I don't think so. Yeah, I was there. I was pitching there. Nothing was scripted. Everything is very, very raw. You can act two things for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. But when you are in front of sharks for 2 hours, neither can they pretend something, nor can you act out something.
Right.
It's when you enter on your left ना, you will see black, क्योंकि आप ऐसे करके तो देख नहीं सकते. आपको दिखता है कि लोग बहुत सारे लोग खड़े हैं और सब कुछ black है. तो it's all cameras, HD cameras and everything. Every action you do, everything you do, it's all being captured there. Nothing at all is. I think Sharks doesn't even know that who is the next pitch.
Yeah, even I heard that in some podcasts. You're right. Yeah.
So it's not at all scripted. I really think it's very raw. It's very the real picture comes out, whatever it is, good, bad.
That's always good to know. So,
I think that is such a feel good thing. Like एक बार डर लगता है जाने से पहले, that nervousness, but when you just face it and just overcome the fear, then it's such a good
I think
feeling.
the nervousness is also a lot about because though Shark Tank is not scripted, the out of 2 hours, only 15 to 20 minutes will be aired.
Yeah.
ना वो 2 घंटे की कॉन्वर्सेशन में कौन सी अच्छी बात है, कौन सी बुरी बात एयर हो जाती है, वो आपको नहीं पता. तो वो nervousness actually begins after the Shark Tank. Episode airs. I think my shoot happened on 13th of October 2023. Episode came on 31st of January 2024. So these 3.5, 4 months is when you feel like, okay, क्या दिखा देंगे, ये दिखाएंगे या नहीं दिखाएंगे. So that's the real nervousness.
So unfortunately, all good things come to an end. And lastly, I would invite Preeti Agarwal. She would be ending this.
Right.
So, ma'am, as we come to the end of this podcast, we really feel that the fascinating insights and into the journey of building Tiggle and how you navigated into this competitive chocolate industry truly deserves a special mention. Your innovative approach, coupled with a deep understanding of consumer preferences and effective marketing tactics, which propelled Tiggle into a successful online business, are quite commendable. From sharing the story behind the color of its logo, the celebrity you wish to onboard, to discussing the supply chain dynamics and industry trends, everything has been so overwhelming, and it is so good to hear all of it. You've demonstrated remarkable entrepreneurial acumen throughout your journey so far.
Okay, one more thing. But have you seen that a new game trend of Machli Wala?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When we were formulating the script and everything, so we just made a fun game out of Tiggle as well.
Okay.
So would you like to play that with us?
Definitely.
I'll explain it literally. So the original one is एक मछली पानी में गई छपाक.
हाँ.
So this one is like it's okay if you don't want to play, but we'll just pitch it. एक hot chocolate, दूध में गया गुड़.
Or we can or we can have it sip.
And the legend
No,
played it
sip
yesterday
sip is
night.
better because
Yeah.
hot chocolate.
It's hot chocolate.
Yes, we were like so excited. Like हम खेल रहे थे script बनाते
Gurgur
बनाते.
gives a very personal touch, and sip is like, more formal, I guess. But anyway,
Done.
Let's decide the order.
because then Anuva, Mili, Tia, then me and Kriti.
Cool.
Okay, Anuva,
याद
Mili,
रहेगा तुम लोगों को फिर
Anuva, and
Yeah.
Kriti. Sounds good.
Great.
Anuva, Mili, Tia, and then Divyam, the Kriti.
Okay.
मैं last हूँ ना?
Yeah. Ma'am, so
And
now you will be
I-
starting.
You
Yeah,
start.
you'll be starting, ma'am.
I'll be starting.
Yeah.
With actions.
We
एक
can skip that. No,
One
no.
hot chocolate.
Sip sip.
Take hot chocolate.
दूध में गया.
Sip sip.
दो hot chocolate.
2 hot chocolate.
दूध में गया.
दूध में गया.
Sip sip.
Sip.
3 hot chocolate.
3 hot chocolate.
3 hot chocolate.
दूध में गया.
दूध में गया.
दूध में गया.
Sip, sip.
Sip sip.
3 hot chocolate.
No, you
Oh,
had
sorry.
Out.
Out.
Divya was out.
Thank you so much, ma'am. ये हमारा wish था और हमने पूरा कर दिया.
So, just a message to our audience. So, get up to tune in more enriching conversations and behind the scene anecdotes on the future episodes of 180 Degrees Consulting of Shri Guru Gobind Singh College of Commerce.
Thank
Sounds
you, ma'am. It was great having you.
Same here. All the very best. Bye-bye.
Bye.